Andy Vidmar, thanks for joining me on the Name and Creative Show. Thanks for anybody out there listening still. I'm just honored that you guys give me an hour change with me and my guests. So welcome back. If this is your first time, buckle up. Andy and I met at a book club in a really cool group where he spoke, and I was captivated that night. The stories that are shared are so powerful and so moving, and it's hard not to connect with all of them. And for some reason, I was compelled to ask you to come on the show that night, and you were very receptive and open to it. So I appreciate you coming today. It's super, super cool.
Thanks for having me, Josh. It'll be fun to find out why I'm here.
I think you already know. I mean, I guess maybe we just kind of start early on and kind of bring people through your journey, which, this whole thing I was telling you before we started is like, I just enjoy like learning about what people have been through, what they're doing, all the cool stuff, how people got there, why, and because there's so much we can learn from anybody. Whether they're a magician or my grandma or Santa Claus, because you were like, I saw the guest list that you've had so far, right? It's eclectic. That's the fun of it. So this will be no different.
I hope so.
Yeah. So take us back, because also, we're new friends. And so this is a great way to get to know each other as well. Where are you from? What landed you here in Florida?
Okay. I was born and raised in Ohio. 50 years we spent there. Married, had a couple kids, raised them. They got out of the house at, 22, 23. And, we kind of looked at ourselves and said, there's nothing holding us back here anymore. Ohio was a wonderful place to raise a family. But, every year, where do you vacation to, right? Florida. We had a timeshare and a condo here and there. And so we started kind of advertising our wares. My wife found a job in Sebring. And within 3 months, we had packed everything up, sold everything off, and here we are.
Wow.
That was 2019.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I was just a year in front of you. I'm from Indiana.
Yeah.
So we're both from up there.
Right. It's good to be here, considering with COVID and all the things that went down since.
Oh man, I tell people that all the time, that I'm so grateful to move down here at that time, because I was able to still, we could go to the beach at least, and
the free state of Florida.
Yes, we certainly were free. So there was that, but it's still a pretty difficult time. My goodness, it was weird. Did you do well through COVID?
Yeah, I mean, I got COVID.
You got
felt
it.
bad for 3 days. I was forced to stay home from work for 5. It was kind of no big deal, but I was fortunate. I didn't have any, comorbidities or health issues. So I kind of was, I don't know, kind of young and healthy, and it didn't affect me bad.
No, I'm glad to hear that. So what did you do for work?
I was doing property management maintenance for a large company here in town. And I was just like a sales guy. They'd come to me with problems, and I'd bid the projects if it was a broken fence or water intrusion, painting, that kind of stuff.
Okay. And you use the past tense was. You doing anything similar to that, or did you take a turn?
Yeah. I was there for 4.5 years. It was kind of a privately held company, a couple owners. They sold out to private equity, and it just was kind of untenable, that corporate rigid structure.
Uh-huh.
So I just recently, I started Monday. I took a job as outside, they call it B2B sales, business to business, for Ace Hardware in Largo.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
I love it.
Oh, great.
Family owned, wonderful boss, autonomy. So far, so good.
That's huge. I mean, that's so important.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing worse than feeling owned or in a box, or, just, it's life. It's a big part of our life, working, It's like, I want to be doing what I kind of want to be doing. It's not always perfect, but
yeah.
autonomy.
And I'd like to be successful, right? And I feel like, I'm 62. I should be trusted at this stage of my life.
I think you've earned that.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a really good move. And, sometimes when it gets bad, it's a blessing.
Sure. Well, I know then you would consider kind of your journey that you spoke about when you spoke about it uh, as a blessing then, because it hasn't been it hasn't been easy getting through what you got through.
No, it was a spiritual awakening of the burning bush variety. And it was, at the time, the worst thing that ever happened to me. And I look back on it now, 26 years later, and it was the best thing ever happened to me.
Wow.
You rarely look at adversity as an opportunity when you're in the middle of it.
Yeah. It's good to be able to look back and appreciate it. It's so powerful. I mean, we spoke about COVID. That was a really dark time for me, but then out popped Naaman Creative, my business, from it. And now I'm better than ever. So it's just, these highs and lows. There's a great quote that I always say from a great movie. If you've ever watched Vanilla Sky with Tom Cruise,
Oh,
oh man, and Cameron Diaz and Penelope Cruz, it's a really great film. It's so good. But one of the lines is, "The sweet isn't as sweet without the sour." And that always stuck with me. Little one-liners always stick with me. But
for sure.
you had some sour, so maybe we can fill in some context of that journey. Like maybe, I don't know. I guess you're the one to start somewhere on where it makes sense to kind of start your story and bring us through what happened, because you're
Okay.
obviously doing great now, and it's just been awesome to. It's wild. I meet new people and I feel proud of them, in a way, and I'm proud of myself for being on similar journeys, but we all have very different trajectories. But it's a neat thing. But I'll
Yeah.
I'll say less and give you the floor.
Okay. Thanks, Josh. It was like 1999. I had a 3-year-old girl. I was unhappily married. It was a difficult time in my life because I was drinking and acting alcoholically, and I had no idea. But one day my wife just looked at me and she said, "Man, you have got to quit doing drugs, or we're done." So I, looked at my medical card. I called the 800 number. I went down and I got an interview with the admissions folks at rehab. And they said, "Of course, you're an alcoholic." I failed every question they asked, even if I lied on it. I had a couple beers, officer, right?
Uh huh.
And so they kind of tried to enroll me Monday in this IOP, intensive outpatient treatment thing. And I said, "Well, I can't Monday. We're going on a cruise, first things first." And they said, "Well, come back the following Monday and we'll get you started." So they gave me a little package to go, a book and a folder and some flyers and, kind of homework to do. And I didn't think much of it. We went on the cruise 2 days later. Typical Andy was, we just rent Jeeps in Aruba, and we go to the liquor store and take the top down and, start drinking and driving along the beach. Like, we ran out of tires to change. We had 3 flats. And the only reason we kept going is because we had other people in our little convoy and we borrowed their flat tires. So, that was kind of normal, everyday vacation behavior for us. And my wife was, obviously a drinking buddy of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And the second day of the cruise, we were supposed to go scuba diving, and you wake up at 6, you train in the pool, you get certified
Oh man,
after 15 minutes.
mine was a little pond behind an apartment complex.
Right, let's
Yeah.
go.
Oh yeah.
So, we're down in St. Croix, this place called Dive Site 1 of all places, where they take the beginners. And it's probably 8 in the morning. We get into the water. We're down maybe, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes where we're still kind of waiting for people to drop down. And my wife had some kind of breathing problem. She had to kind of pop to the surface to catch her breath.
Not good.
Yeah. It's kind of scary. First time down for both of us. And, she pops to the surface and gets run over by a 38-foot sport fishing boat that was cruising about 15 knots right through dive site 1 because they were in a hurry to go somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was awful for her. It was worse for her than me for sure. She told me that she popped her head. She heard something coming. She turned, looked. She took a couple paddle strokes to get her torso out of the way, which saved all of our lives, or the tanks would have blown up, right?
Oh.
And the boat clipped her leg and chopped it off right there in the water.
Was it like clean? I don't know if it's just
well,
what is that?
The prop's spinning so fast that there was a few cuts, and the leg was just kind of hanging there by meat, just below the knee. And of course, I didn't see that. I'm still trying to just get my bearings down at the bottom. I didn't even realize she had gone up yet.
Oh.
So our instructor gets down there, and he kind of tells us to just stay here. And they went up, and unbeknownst to me, they got her on a rescue boat. They makeshift somebody to run her ashore. And then he told us to go up, and I was swimming kind of back towards the boat, following the guide. And I passed this jellyfish in the water. It turned out it was a portion of her leg. I didn't recognize it. Yeah, that's the last thing your brain would register.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely a jellyfish.
Yeah. Yeah. So
did that boat stop?
Yeah, they actually circled back around right over our heads again.
Oh, no way.
To pick her up. Because they heard it. They felt it.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. And, I got mixed feelings about that captain. He had some kind of paramedic training, and they had put, what do they call that when they cinch it with the bill?
Oh, man.
A tourniquet.
Yeah.
And, of course, that did stop the bleeding to a certain point, and that probably saved her life. And they actually had an IV thing on the boat and a lot of, medical equipment. So,
wow.
Yeah, they raised her back, and, that was 8:30 in the morning on November 4th of 1999, and that was my sobriety date.
That day. Were you guys drinking that morning? Were
no,
you drinking?
But okay. Sure was the night before.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
which is a bad idea.
It's not a good. Yeah, before diving.
Right.
Oh man. I mean, so what? You said 1994?
1999.
1999. Right. Oh my gosh. And you had, geez. Is she okay now? I mean, she made it out.
Yeah. She made it. They. It's kind of a long story. We wound up on an air ambulance back to Cleveland. We had a charter flight manifest to head from St. Croix to Cleveland on this little tiny private jet or whatever. Thank God my father had $15,000 available on a credit card to fire up the engine. And, nothing against St. Croix, but we would rather have her, live or die in an American hospital in America, at home.
Yeah, sure.
Preferably. We got a 3-year-old kid at the house, So we tried to make it to Cleveland, and for some reason, we had to stop and get gas. I don't know, headwinds or something. I was just oblivious to all this stuff. I thought we were in Cleveland when we landed, And we kind of had to go through customs, I guess, because St. Croix is some kind of quasi, not quite America.
Yeah.
And the guy was looking at the passenger manifest and counting heads, and he doesn't even know what's going on because we weren't supposed to be there. And he says to the captain, "How many souls are on board?" And that was asking, is she alive or dead? And I knew that when he said it. And of course, I just started crying. And the count matched, so the guy just got us out of there real quick. It was like a top off and go. And we land in Cleveland, and I'm wearing like a t-shirt and tank top and flip-flops. It was 88 degrees when we left, and it's snowing November in Cleveland, and there's this little airport. It's like a private place. It's in downtown Cleveland called Burke Lakefront, and it's just private jets that fly in and out of there. Nobody ever really uses it, except CEOs or whoever.
Mm-hmm.
And the door pops open, and I realize that's where we are. And there's an ambulance backed up there. And two of our friends, our dear friends, come out of the ambulance with winter jackets. And they threw one on her and gave me one. And they whisked us off to Metro General Hospital, which is like the, what do they call that? 5-star surge. What's it called when you have the highest level of trauma?
Oh, I don't know what that.
Yeah, it was the most qualified, for like gunshot wounds, car accidents,
Okay,
all that
yeah.
stuff in the city of Cleveland, and they saved her life. They wound up kind of recutting the leg off so it could be a clean fit for a prosthetic. And, she was like literally touch and go for a long time there.
Long time, like days or hours?
Yeah, it was probably, let me back up. It was maybe 30 hours in the hospital in St. Croix before she was stable enough to transport.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, that was tough. And, of course, the friends that we were diving with went and got our gear off the boat and brought it to the hospital. So, the boat goes on, and it's just me and her. And really, it's just me, She was obviously out of it. And so the doc looks at me that night. Yeah, that was like 1 a.m. And he says, I've done what I could, we'll see. It's touch and go. The next 24 hours will tell if she's going to live or not. And he says, good luck. I'll see you in the morning. So I went to my gear, and I found right on the top of my luggage was the packet from the rehab center. So there was this big book on top. And, I'm just thinking to myself, man, now is a good time to start praying. I don't know if anybody out there ever had the one of those, God help me, get me out of this prayers type situation. Well, that's what it was. And I kneeled down. I folded my hands on that book. I'm in this cot in this little hallway. And I said, God, if you let the mother of my daughter live, I will straighten up and fly right. And he did, so I did.
Forever. Till this day.
Till this day, anyways.
Yeah,
I don't know
right.
about forever, Josh.
Day at a time.
Day
at a time.
Yeah. So I said that prayer, and I opened up that book, and the very first thing I read was this thing about, will you return me to sanity? Because I thought that was pretty appropriate, because, this was crazy town. And at that moment, I had this, like a hot flash. I just became like super sweating instantly all over me. And I got up. I had to find fresh air. I started running down this hallway, and I kind of found a stairwell, and I burst out of these double doors, and I put my hands on my knees, and I just caught my breath. And when I went outside, this is like 2 a.m. It just felt like I was into like a beer cooler. It was just so refreshing. And I believe that was the Holy Spirit entering my body at that time, because I was not capable of handling this. I couldn't even keep a plant alive, Josh. I was a terrible employee. My wife went on vacation with her sister one time. I killed the cat. I couldn't keep, I mean, I was super irresponsible. And just the thought of, taking care of her and my daughter and, the house and just all the things, it was totally overwhelming. And so, yeah, that was a spiritual experience, the first of many in this journey. So, yeah. And then if I picked up back in Cleveland, it was about 10 days in that hospital. And I kind of lived there for the first 4 days. They had a real nice setup, for guys like me that, basically had nothing. I didn't have a car. Eventually I found my way back home. Fortunately, we had her sister watching our daughter. So,
oh, great.
Yeah, there wasn't an immediate, everything was taken care of for us to be gone a week anyway.
Sure. Right.
So, yeah. And, she started getting into, rehab and walking, and they, put a prosthetic on her, and she walk around today like, you would never know. Yeah, it was a miracle.
Jeez.
Yeah, man, I tell you, she's a beautiful woman, but man, when she was on death's doorstep, I didn't even recognize her. It was awful. I'll tell you one horrific side note. When we were making our way back to shore, when she had the accident, I actually beat her to the land for whatever reason. I hitched a ride with another boat, and we had to make our way to where she was. We didn't even know anything, right? There was no cell phones. So, we're running around, and we actually saw a boat coming in that looked like a dive boat, and it's pulling into the marina, and there was ambulances waiting there and cops and, the whole caution tape and a big whatever. Everybody knew what was going on but me.
Oh.
And so the boat pulls into the dock, and they got those little weep holes where you wash out water on the sides of the boat, and I could see the blood running down that gunnel.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that was my sign. I knew that was her. And so we, kind of busted through the cop line, and I went to the boat, and I seen her, and, it was just horrific. And I just literally collapsed next to her on the boat. I was like on my knees, and, I'm supposed to be strong for her,
Sure.
She's conscious this whole time.
Oh my gosh.
And, yeah, I don't remember very much after that, so yeah. So that was my bottom, man. That was a tough day to get sober.
Well, it's interesting because you weren't necessarily drunk and drinking at that time, but it was like a key life moment. And I mean, I guess maybe you were still maybe hungover from the night before or something, but it was just like it was a wake up or like a shake.
Big T trauma.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I had no coping skills to get through something like that. Both my parents were alcoholics. 4 out of 4 aunts and uncles were alcoholics. And so, I was kind of raised by wolves, I didn't have, conversations about feelings and emotions like a lot of kids, maybe not a lot of kids had that, who knows what's normal.
It's hard to find. There's so many different kinds of people. One thing that I am grateful for is, sobriety makes me feel real normal as far as what I'm doing to raise my kids. I feel like if I'm doing my best and being as good of an example as I can be, then I'm as calibrated to what I believe should be doing, and they taking from me and learning from me as I could be, which wasn't always the case, and that wasn't okay,
Yeah, it's like going through life and you're just off target on everything, like you said, calibrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to get recalibrated. I'd learn to get out of myself for 5 minutes.
Sure.
I was just so self-centered all the time, and you don't even know, you're in zero self-awareness.
There's a lot of excuses we tell ourselves in so many different ways, like, no, it's not me, or it's other people's problems, or I'm not that bad, or it's not that bad, or it doesn't, I've got control over it, or I'm not doing so bad.
I ran into a lot of assholes when I was drinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't me though.
Yeah. What a coincidence.
Right.
So you're did you ever before that analyze your drinking and that it was a problem, that it was an issue? Like, I guess your wife had told you, like, you got to stop, but then you went on that cruise and continued.
Yeah. For years before that, I mean, I had a therapist, a shrink that I was going to try to help me stop. And, he recommended I go to AA, and, my friends would, see me getting high and, drinking like that. And they would often say things to me like, man, do you think you're an alcoholic? Do you think you're addicted to that stuff? I'd be like, yeah, but for a guy like me, I just didn't learn until the pain was so great that the pain to change was less.
Wow,
Like,
that's a good way to phrase it.
Yeah, like your wife telling you, quit or I'm done with you. And then I lose my kid.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't want to be a every other weekend and Wednesday dad.
Yep. Well, that's it's really powerful. It takes a bottom of some kind, It's so interesting. It's like smoking and cancer. Like, people are like, dude, it's all good. I'm smoking, I'll be fine. And it's like, you have cancer, and they're like, oh, it is bad for me. And I was like, dang, how didn't I know about that?
Yeah. Yeah, we make a lot of bad choices in life until we have these awakenings, these epiphanies.
Were there other times in your life before that where you were close to stopping or tried to stop, or was it just real consistent? Like, were there any like mini wake up calls where?
Oh my gosh, Josh. Yeah, I just wasn't listening. I wasn't not picking up the phone to those calls. Believe me, I had 3 DUIs and car crashes, and the dean at the school telling me that you're on double secret probation. So I tried to quit, and then I just smoked weed every day. Yeah, I don't want to bore you with the long,
That's not boring.
Yeah, there was plenty. I mean, how about my boss, who was my father, just literally not knowing what to do with me. Yeah. And he had been clean and sober for a few years at that point. Yeah, I'm sure I was just like the super disappointing son to him. I was literally the black sheep of the family.
Interesting.
Yeah. I found a letter that he was writing to an attorney. He was doing his estate planning. And I just happened to look at his desk, and I read this sentence that says, and I just don't know what to do with Andy. He's a thorn in my side. And that didn't wake me up.
Mm-hmm. What have you, I don't know if it's figure outable. Wow, what a word. But like, have you tried to contemplate what the reasons why you were functioning this way? Like, have you pinpointed some things, or is it, because I feel like it's a sort of an impossible task because it's so complex, but does anything stand out where it's like, I don't know, either anybody listening or has been through it could maybe pick up on it before they hit a bottom? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the difference between a normal person and an alcoholic.
Uh-huh.
I think a normal person has a negative consequence from their drinking. And, the next time they're out at a bar, they're like, wow, those 2 beers went straight to my head. I just want a water, like I don't want another DUI or an accident. So, I think if I was to define what an alcoholic is, it's, drink 2 beers and stop. If you can't do that, you ought to look at it. If you have negative consequences, plural, from your drinking, you ought to look at it. And unfortunately, most of us, because it is a disease, it's a sickness, which I talked a little bit about my family history.
Mm-hmm.
I was alcoholic, like from the get-go. It's just in my genes. Both my parents were.
Yeah.
And, 2 out of us 4 siblings are. So yeah, we just don't get it until that pain threshold becomes untenable.
Let's face it. There are times a business absolutely needs a new website built from scratch, done the right way, and Naaman Creative can help with that. However, in some cases, you don't need to rebuild. At Naaman Creative, we specialize in transforming existing websites with ongoing management, maintenance, SEO strategy, functionality enhancements, and performance upgrades that drive new traffic and engagement. Do you have an existing website that you're looking to evolve and grow? Connect with us at info@NaamanCreative.com or visit our website at NaamanCreative.com to get started. Yeah. There's a phrase someone who spoke said, like, when these one-liners get to me, but they said, like, one is too many, 1,000's not enough, kind of thing. And I was like, oh, that's a great way to phrase it, How young were you? Because you said early on. Like when did this begin? Where you just started to go for it?
Yeah. As soon as I had some freedom in high school, 15, some of my friends start driving, and we have the opportunity to get out of the house. That's when my drinking career started. Which is kind of normal.
Yeah.
kind of.
Sure. Yeah, that was about my time. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, I was working with my father, and I'm 16-year-old driving the truck home with beers between our legs. This is 1985 or something.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So you've popped out. What are some methods that keep you calibrated? Keep it straight for you? Any particular things that really help you out?
Yeah. So I did complete that intensive outpatient treatment program. They recommend that I go to 12-step program. I started going to meetings. And I realized that, those guys were just like me.
Mm-hmm.
And once I started recognizing the similarities and kind of ignoring the differences and trying not to compare myself out, I realized that, these guys are fun. They're funny. They're energetic. They're smart. They're hardworking. We had a lot in common. And they like to goof around and, make fun of themselves and joke around and golf and, do all the things, but not drink.
Right. Who knew that you could do things?
I found a sponsor. He was like the same section, 12 seats down from me in the dog pound in Cleveland.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to watch the Browns. I was like, no way. So, yeah. And then we started going on golf outings. And, once I started fellowshipping with the guys, it became a way of life. And, real soon I, kind of distanced myself from all those old drinking buddies. And then I, once you find guys, it's like finding survivors from the Titanic. You're like, hey, been there, done that. Come on, let's go grab a sandwich.
Yeah, sure.
You have a lot to talk in common.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, it's just like, oh, you get it. You feel that too, or that happened to you, or whatever this wild thing is that unfortunately feels unfair. It's kind of a bummer, right? Because, there are sweet spots where it's like, that felt good. That was nice. And, but you don't maintain that sweet spot. You blow right past it, and it's really hard to capture it. But it is a bummer. This is like knowing that like, this just like can't be part of my life because that sweet spot's fleeting.
Yeah, yeah. One thing I noticed in sobriety was that you take away the alcohol and it just awakens your nervous system and your emotions. So when the good thing happens, it is awesome.
Yeah.
It's not a numbed feeling like it
Right.
was when you were using. So that's like the best part about being sober. It's also the worst because the trials are real. The pain is
Mhm.
awful.
There's
The
nothing to drown it.
yeah, the girl you meet and breaks your heart.
You really feel
I'm gonna need some tools here, Josh.
it. What do I do with myself? Just go run.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, how about feel it? Talk
Yeah,
about it
totally.
and share it
Yeah.
and be in the moment and don't run away from it. You go for a jog.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally get, what do they call that? Completing the stress cycle.
Hmm. Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, sweat it out a little bit. So yeah, and then there's the God thing, right? And to recognize that, life's tough, especially when you're like trying to do it by yourself. Like, oh, I got this, And then for me to think that, thank you, God, for helping me get rid of this physical compulsion and the mental obsession, but, this thing at work with this jerk boss, I got this one. So the reliance upon a higher power and sharing, my problems with my sponsor, I think goes a long way to resolving problems to the point where, I don't have these anxiety buildups like I used to.
Sure.
I used to be very short-wicked.
Yeah, because one of the things is to continue to be aware of what's going on and take care of it quickly. From what I'm learning.
Yeah, for sure. It's difficult to have the discipline, right? Because I didn't have any of it. And then, the discipline comes first and then the stability.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
That's like a sequence that, was difficult for me to understand.
What would you say with, recovery or like some of the biggest misconceptions? I just feel like, I've been now exposed to this realm that really, I don't know, it's kept in the dark, or people don't talk about it, or people dismiss it, or whatever it is. And then obviously there's so many things that there's so many misconceptions, and uh, and ultimately, like, my goal is try to, like, maybe through these kinds of discussions is to help people recognize certain things, whether it be about themselves or other people, or just understanding what people are going through, and maybe trying to break down some of the barriers of like the misunderstandings and the or stigmas
Yeah.
around what's going on. Because everybody, no matter who it is, people could look like they have all their stuff together, real buttoned up, but who knows what happened.
Until you find out they hung themselves. Yeah. Because what goes behind closed doors, the more you keep in your 6 secrets, really, it's a problem.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to share anything because, God bless my parents. They loved me in the best way that they could. My dad was also a workaholic, and his measurement stick of you, Josh, was, I would just like to see your W-2.
Okay. All right.
And great guy, fun to be with. I had a great relationship. We talked every day for the last 2 years of his life. Yeah. That was a real blessing.
Yeah.
But, when you're brought up like that and your yardstick is material things, monetary, possessions, and, we judge people like that, it's a hollow feeling, right? Because nothing ever really satisfies you. I mean, how long does that new car really make you happy? Um, so transferring my interest from this material stuff to relationships was a long journey. And I recognize now that, when I'm on my deathbed, I'll hopefully be surrounded by people that love me, not my car.
Yeah.
I don't want to die in my garage.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a good goal.
Yeah.
Unless you like really loved your garage. It was super cool.
No, no, no. I did wind up getting divorced from that woman. There was a point where I had to pick my marriage or my sobriety, because as soon as she got off the opioids, she started drinking again. And we kind of looked at each other one day, and I didn't want to go back to that lifestyle, and she certainly wasn't interested in supporting mine. She started drinking every day again in the house. So, we kind of ran out of things we had in common besides our daughter. So we kind of went through a pretty amicable divorce just because, it was kind of irreconcilable differences at that point.
Gosh,
Yeah.
that's what a turn of life, because you were drinking buddies at one time, and did you try to shift her and say, hey, you want to try this out with me, or was she just absolutely closed
No,
off to
no,
that?
she had no interest in it. And that was obvious. So, I'm talking to my sponsor. I'm 6 months sober, and they say no big decisions in the first year, but she kind of made that decision for me, which, now I'm grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
Because, there was a lot of years there where, her drinking was problematic as far as, raising our daughter. And, so at least she had a somewhat stable household half the time, and, wonderful woman. I wouldn't be here today if she didn't put that ultimatum down. So, I'm grateful for those 17 years we had together and all that. And, our daughter turned out to be a, productive member of society, graduated college, has a little baby boy. So,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm a grandpa now.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, that's almost like evidence of beauty, that you did love each other to that extent, and that's really powerful.
yeah,
There's nothing that takes that away.
no,
That was
man,
there, and that's that.
that was meant to be then. And
Yeah.
I'm with a wonderful woman now.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, she really just completes me. It's, she's super supportive of my program. She got up at 6 a.m. Saturday to go hear me talk to some people. Yeah. Yeah. And then, breakfast with the gang afterwards. She's on board.
That's really important. Obviously, it's a big part of your life. It's what keeps you sustained. That's what works. So you have to maintain that.
Yeah, she's a safe place to land. At 62 years old, I got to recreate my career again, right? Starting over with a new company.
Yeah.
And, it's just nice to have somebody that's super supportive and validates my emotions and, the whole nine. She's just like a normal person, no program girl, but she's got her own program, right? And it's relationship theory, and we talk a lot about it. Yeah, it's fascinating. And so, yeah, I'm lucky to have her.
Okay. Maybe I'll have to have her on. I don't know anything about relationship theory.
I don't know. You're happily married. Must know something.
Well, I guess, yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. But, any relationship, you go through ups and downs. That's what, again, makes the sweet so sweet. It's a little bit of sour. There's always contrast. I'm a designer. But I'm super grateful for what I have. And also for my wife doesn't have what we have, where it's like, man, it's just like, she's like, yep, one glass of wine is totally good. I'm totally good. I'm like, how? Like that's just, yeah, and just didn't, she's got a very level head, but she has been telling me through our relationship quite a bit. Like, I think you don't have a good relationship with, substances. And, like, I don't like you goofed up. I don't
Yeah.
like who you become. And I thought, like, that's not a problem because I don't feel like I'm too different. But it was different enough to where it bothered her, and, hindsight's 2020 where it's like, sh- I should have taken that more seriously sooner. But at least I'm here now,
Yeah.
and, it's just the journey. But, yeah, she's
I'm
real
glad you
proud.
didn't fight her long because, if she says you got a problem, believe me.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah. She'll say I fought long enough. But it's not like fighting her. It's fighting myself. Like I could do this. I've got control.
I got
I
this.
got this. Like I got my own business. I have a master's degree.
Right. I'm
I
not an
taught I taught
alcoholic.
university. Like I'm smart.
Yeah.
But
Almost too smart. I tell you what, Josh, I never met a guy too dumb for my program, but I met a few too smart, and I was almost one of them.
That's yeah. Because you can talk yourself into anything. You
Oh,
can yeah. It's so interesting. It's so cool. I've just been so grateful, like you had mentioned, like finding a community that you like, oh my gosh, these people are first off awesome and they're like really clear and transparent and fun and we get each other in a different way than like someone like my wife is like, I don't really understand it. I've seen it, but I don't like get it, but we can get it. That's a big deal. Community is huge. We're sitting in my co-working community. We don't call it a co-working space very intentionally. We do for like SEO purposes and stuff, but we're a co-working community. Because that for businesses and people working hard and trying to build meaningful stuff, it's really hard to do that in a silo. Whatever you're doing, like we don't have to do it alone. Yeah, you can, but
that's the hard way.
yeah, yeah, it's wild too. Like when you open yourself up, all this opportunity starts to flow. Like I don't even ask for it anymore. In a way, I guess I am because I'm like aligning. But I mean, just today, someone we both know, showed me something, and then he's like, I've been working on this for a bit, and I didn't realize you were working on this too. You can take it and run with this. And this is like a business idea that he's like, you can have it. I just want to see it go. And I'm like, that's wild.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's just really neat. I'm like, why? We'll work it out and build it together. But thanks.
Well, when you're honest, and your relationship has a foundation of, vulnerability, it goes quickly, right? And it gets deep and it gets rewarding.
Yeah,
Look at that.
indeed. Speaking of rewarding, are you ready for a fun time?
Yeah.
All right, you've reached rapid fire. There actually aren't any rewards, but it's still fun. I always play with my guests. So I ask all my guests the same set of questions. See all these different people answer in different and very similar ways. And it's just fun for me. Again, I told you this podcast is mostly self-serving, but I think people enjoy it. So the goal is to try to stay concise, but obviously, if you need to expand, go for it.
Okay.
So you ready?
Yeah. Fire
All right,
away.
let's fire away. All right. So first question: what is your biggest source of inspiration?
I rely on God, my sponsor, and my wife. And
It's a three-part
yeah,
answer there.
yeah, that's my three-forked approach,
Yeah.
three-pronged.
Three-prong approach. All right. That's those are pretty powerful things. And that does it. Great. All right. You're on an island. Different than St. Croix or whatever.
Good.
Another island. Have you been back since?
No,
No. You don't.
haven't
You don't.
scuba dived either.
I was just yeah. I'm a diver, and it's already scary enough. It's already so dangerous. And the older I get, like the more I take danger seriously, especially like now needing to live for my children. I'm like, man, it's risky. Anything goes wrong down there, you can't just pop up. I mean, you can, but it's very dangerous. Like, it's just so dangerous. But it's beautiful. Diving's beautiful. But okay, different island.
Okay.
Like the Lost Island. Did you ever watch that show? Lost?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a two-part question. First part, you're sitting there. You have no books. One book can fall on your lap, and that's what you can read forever. What are you reading?
Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand.
Ah, yeah. All right. That's somewhat popular.
Yeah, it was part of the top 10 best-selling books. That was in like the teens, 2016, maybe 2018. Yeah. And it's epic because at that point it was 70 years old.
Right. Yeah. What resonates from that? Like what stands out to you about that one?
The concept of individualism, where, I'm kind of responsible for my own outcomes, right? I have to have discipline and productivity. I have found that, for me, I'm best suited to carry a load. So I like being responsible and maybe taking care of people, kind of like a head of household type mentality. Even though my wife is very capable, she's autonomous on her own. And being a part of society and contributing to the community is kind of, I place a value on that. And that's kind of what the heroes of the book are.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I don't usually ask too many follow-up questions, but I felt compelled to. All right, so you're on that island now. An album or a musical artist can pop down from the sky, and that's what you can play on repeat. What are you listening to?
Oh, man.
I know.
I hope the entire Old Dominion band can get there.
Okay.
Old D's my go-to these days.
Okay.
I'm a little bit country.
That's fine. That one I get a lot of different answers. Certain ones I get similar ones, like the biggest source of inspiration. Okay.
Once you see them live, like you look at them differently.
Yeah.
And we just had a unbelievable experience with them at the Sound here in Clearwater.
Oh yeah.
Just a little intimate venue.
I haven't been to that venue yet.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, I've heard great things though.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That is like the best feeling when you see a band live and you're like, oh, thank goodness. First off, I've been listening to them for so long and they're good. They can perform it live. But not only that, but it's better live. That's when it's like, yes.
Electric.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Oh, man. It's so powerful. And you did it sober.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. So you remember most of it.
Yeah, there was 4 of us there, and we were just, it was nonstop. I mean, we were dripping sweat.
Oh, yeah.
It was
it's kind of hot out.
Yeah, outdoors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Last question. How do you define success?
Oh, I love that. I want to be measured when I pass by 3 things: how much I have loved, how much I have let go, and how I have made people feel.
I love that. That's great. Also, no one's answered it quite that way. A lot of similar answers for this one. That's unique. I love that. The letting go is so interesting because we're in a world that just so consuming. Just like a constant need for things and want, and like, I need that, I need this. And really, it's almost like a lot of the times it should be almost the opposite. My wife and I have been going through like really minimizing our house because we've had our whole lives and we've collected. We have our kids now. We're like, we don't have room. Why do we have this thing? What does that serve us? Why do we need it? Is this bringing us joy? Do we use it? And let's get rid of it. It's okay. And it feels so great. And I'm a designer by heart, like by trade. I'm a designer, and less is factually more. It's just, Yeah. You have more room for other stuff to breathe and to be.
Yeah. I used to love things and use people. And
Huh.
since I've switched that around, my life is infinitely more rewarding.
It's a great way to phrase it. You got a lot of good one-liners, Andy. You picked up some
Thanks,
good
Josh.
phrases. Boy, I really appreciate you opening up and being, willing to share. It's a really powerful thing. And I know you haven't been on a podcast before or ever shared like this.
Thank you.
So yeah, no, thank you. I'm going to give you the floor at the end. I like to say, like, for anybody listening, whether they need help to get sober, or they're on a journey, or they're a business owner, or they're a mom. What's your biggest advice that you can leave someone listening?
You can do it. And I know you probably think you can't. When I used to get introduced to speak, they would say, this is Andy. And let me tell you, if he can do it, anybody can do it. And, it just takes a little bit of willingness, a little bit of honesty, and a little bit of humility, right, to reach out and ask for help. And it's out there. It's out there. It's at the tip of your fingertips, right? There's a lot of evil in your pocket, and there's also a lot of good. There's a lot of guys out there. I like to consider myself one of them that work with new people. And, it's important to me to kind of remember where I came from, and that if you just showed a little bit of activity, a little effort, we will respond. And, asking God for help certainly isn't going to hurt. I mean, it's like, what have you got to lose?
Yeah, sure. That's a great way to phrase it. Yeah.
Yeah, the miserable way of life that you've, just been trudging on and suffering through. You have to ask yourself, if I want to keep going on and, trotting on to the bitter end on the same path, or do I want to perhaps live on a spiritual plane? And that's a scary proposition to say, all right, I'm going to let go of this and ask God for help, because, I've been doing such a wonderful job on my own. It's kind of comical, but yeah.
Yeah. That's that letting go. It could be a very beautiful thing, because honestly, you attract more of what you need.
And it's terrifying at the same time.
Sure thing.
It's a big leap.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm happy you took that leap. I'm happy to be a part of it with you. Happy to know you and call you a friend. It's just it's inspiration. Thanks for the inspiration. I really appreciate you taking the time. It means a lot, Andy.
Thanks for having me, Josh.
Yeah.
This was fun.
This was. Yeah, thanks.